Hello, everyone. It's me, as the Sasuke 125 here, or with the new rebranding, Savage Sasuke 125. Whatever you feel like going with, honestly. Who knows? Who cares? Anyway, I wanted to say something since it is a really interesting week, since it's the 31st anniversary of the cult, OVA Genocyber. As you know, I've been working on a project, or worked on a project called Genocyber Recut. It was an old, webcomic that I did that was sort of like a remake of the story itself. Originally, I wanted to have just adapted the OVA's original 5 episodes, but rewrite them in a way that it would make sense or streamline for a modern audience or modern readers in this case. Or, another idea I had was literally just adapting the manga itself and finishing that up, since that was sort of left unfinished, unfortunately, for some reason. Anyway, but then I just decided, you know what? Screw it. Why not I just do my own thing, but also take elements from the other two, like the OVA and the manga itself? Now, this project was kind of interesting, pretty fun. It has its ups and downs, but whatever. I mean, when you're remaking something with a very controversial history or very divisive, reactions to, it's going to take a lot of balancing to do. Like, you want to be more faithful to the original, but at the same time, you want to improve on the original's feelings and, try to recontextualize it in sort of a more modern-esque context or something like that. Well, originally, I was planning on doing like 5 volumes of the project, but then later on I kind of felt depressed and kind of a little lazy for a while. Then I just decided, you know what, just to do like 2 volumes initially, volume 1 and volume 2, and call it a day. But then I felt like, you know what, maybe I need to do at least 2 more volumes, and that's why volumes 3 and 4 were made. In case if you're wondering where to read these, comics, they're on DeviantArt on Ava 00Z, my DeviantArt chat, account. Anyway, so yeah, and that was it. Completed 4 volumes, and that's all I wrote. So, but then later on, I decided to, I wanted to revisit this project. And so I met up with a different artist. Well, okay, I didn't really meet up with him, but, we both chatted and we worked up a deal so we can, do like a new version of the recut story. Yep. With new art and even more bonus material. I guess you can think of this more as like Kingdom Hearts Final Mix or Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. An extended cut, basically. So, of course, with this new version that's currently in the works, we're already around like chapter 3 as of the making of this video. So, more chapters will be coming soon to Genocyber Recut Volume 2 on Mr. Sticky 55's, DeviantArt. Oh, by the way, shout out to the dude. He's really awesome, by the way. Thanks so much, man. You're the best. Anyway, now you're probably wondering, why the fuck did I ever decide to remake this OVA in the first place? Well, I guess maybe because I like the concepts of it, and, to be fair, I mean, hey, we're allowed to like controversial stuff once in a while. We're a problematic, stuff. But anyway, and plus, honestly, a lot of Hollywood and a lot of people like to focus on remaking good projects or good classics and shit. So I'm like thinking, and instead of remaking something that's already a classic, why not just remake something that's a bit controversial and, try to actually challenge myself on how I would do it, Now, I'm not saying that my version is the definitive, be all end all version of the story, and is by no means meant to replace the original or the incompleted original manga, but what do I know, right? Some people will say this my version's superior, others will say it doesn't live up to the original, but hey, what do I know, right? And of course, with this remake that I did, some changes had to be done, like sort of make it a bit more lighter and softer. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still gory as shit, but hey, I just felt that maybe some elements needed to be toned down. And no, I'm not saying it's like, as a pro censorship thing, more so as a, focus more on the story than the gore itself. But hey, the gore is still there, so there you go. And also, rewrite a few characters and, recontextualize some stuff. Oh, and, also expand upon Elaine and Rat's whole, friendship. Now, there were some things I did feel like I failed on the original recut project on was, I did feel like, looking back, I kind of did rush a little bit of some things. Now, luckily, again, with this new version that me and Mr. Sticky are working on, it's going to be around 8 or 10 volumes if it does get completed, and we're also going to be adding some new characters and stuff. As far as the new characters, well, you'll have to find out once more chapters are made and also, concept art leak and shit. So, yeah. Also, I hope you guys enjoy, the little animations I do with the characters. Now, granted, they're not great, but hey, it seems like you guys seem to enjoy them, and, if you want to see more of them, let me know, and other projects as well on the horizon. So, yeah. I made some, fan art for, the 31st anniversaries, because, it's around the time that this OVA was released. So, and I thought, why not? And what else? What else is another thing, that I want to say about the whole recut thing? I will say that, one of my favorite parts about working on it was doing the third and fourth volume of the original. Now, without going into spoilers, again, I would recommend reading the original recut on my DeviantArt and also checking out the new version as well. So, I will say it was kind of fun to work with that. What else could I say? Now, it would be kind of cool though if, say, Koichi Ohata or Namco Bandai or whoever currently owns the rights to the original IP decide to actually make their own official, project and remake project. I mean, if Springen can have a remake on Netflix, then anything could be possible. Granted, Springen wasn't exactly a popular manga, but it still managed to get another chance at an adaptation. So I'm really hoping the same thing could be done. And besides, as far as adaptation, what I was saying about, classics having remakes or adaptations that aren't the best, then again, if the Berserk, 2016 and 17, animes weren't exactly great despite the source material being really good. So I'm just thinking to myself, well, instead of, again, ruining an already good project, why not just take something that was flawed but had potential and make it better? That's what I've always advocated for. Just with the thing the 1982 version by John Carpenter. How it was essentially a remake of the 1950s film, but being much more faithful to the source material. Or take, for example, the remake of The Fly, how it improved on the original. Or if you want another example, Dread from 2013. I mean, that was a remake slash, it was a remake of the Judge Dredd movie, better than the one from the 90s. So, plus the 2013 version had Carl Urban, aka the person who played Billy Butcher in The Boys, and also played another character in Lord of the Rings. But, it just shows that, hey, sometimes a second chance can actually bring out much better successes because, learning from hindsight is the key to, making a better story. Now, granted, this doesn't always work, but hey, I feel like as far as the project that I've done, it's been a sort of a mixed success. Hopefully, with this new version, it'll, keep up that legacy and even improve upon it. And also, by the way, I've been working on another remake project, this time remaking MD Geist. You might want to check that out. Granted, it's, not really completed yet, but I've been meaning to get back on working on more pages of MD Geist Recut, so yeah, that's something to look forward to. Anyway, that's about it as far as this video. And also, thanks again, guys, for watching and, saying subscribed and, whatever, if you like all my videos or not. The fact that you guys interact with them is really appreciated. Oh, and also another sprite animation video will be coming soon sometime this week, so look forward for that. Anyway, this is Savage Sasuke 125 here, and I'll see you all later. Peace.